The Prophet ﷺ said, there are 7 whom Allah will shade on a day when there is no shade except for His. And He said, ﷺ, they are a just ruler, a youth who grew up in the worship of Allah, a person whose heart is attached to the masajid, 2 people who love each other and they meet each other and depart from one another, all for the sake of Allah, a person who is tempted by someone of beauty and high status, but he guards himself saying, Inni akhafullah, I fear Allah. And then someone who spends in charity and conceals it in such a way that his right hand doesn't know what his left hand is giving. And then someone who remembers Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private, and that causes them to weep. So that covers 7 deeds. You have just leadership, pious youth, love of the masajid, love of one another for the sake of Allah, resisting temptation, secret charity, and then crying out of the awe of Allah. Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, if you look at all 7 of these categories, you see mukhalafatul hawa, that they gave preference to their love for Allah over the pull of their lusts and desires, even when they had access to those desires. So everyone from the judge who could have wronged to the person that chose to be in a good place of worship rather than an evil place, to a person who preferred to use their youth for worship instead of partying, to the person who chose charity over wealth, or chose secret worship over secret sin, all of them chose to contradict their desires for their love of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then you have the second theme, which is all of them did an act of obedience to Allah. And obedience, as the scholars mentioned, is of 2 types. You have an act of obedience between you and Allah, and then you have an act of obedience between you and the people, also for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You'll also notice that the first 4 categories of these 7 are in regards to public life. And then the last 3 are in regards to your private life. And what this tells us is that if you fix your externals, then your internals are going to be strengthened as well. The scholars also mentioned that like the gates of Jannah, a person who belongs to one category likely belongs to more than one. But they say, subhanAllah, that Yusuf alayhi salam is the only man who we can confirm belonged to all 7, right? If you think about Yusuf alayhi salam's position, every one of these categories fits him. And then you have the first category, which is the rarest of the categories, which is a just ruler. And the last category, which is the most common of them all, and anyone can do it, and that is al-bukat min khashyatillah, a person who cries out of their fear of Allah. You don't need power or position to cry out of your awe of Allah. And the most beautiful character is someone that includes the first and the last. And that was Sayyidina Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, this man who was known for being a just ruler, and he had marks on his shoulders from the charity he carried at night, and then he also had marks under his eyes